Lukas Foss is a junior at Hastings High School and will be a 2025 Raider graduate. During his time at Hastings High School, he has been a three-sport athlete, participating in football, basketball, and track and field. In football, he's a 2-year varsity letter winner, playing at the quarterback position, has been named captain during his junior year. In basketball, Lukas is a 2-year letter winner and has been named captain during his junior year as well. Finally, Lukas is a thrower on the track and field team. Lukas gives a great interview where he defines success and how his definition of success is demonstrated in sports. Here we are with Lukas Foss. Lukas, we always start with background information on our guests here. So let's start with your background information. And let's start with your mom and your dad. So let's hear about your mom and your dad and who they are, what they do for a living. Did they live in Hastings originally? Did they eventually move to Hastings? Let's hear about your parents first.
So my parents both grew up in Hastings. They both played sports through middle school and high school. My dad did wrestling and football. My mom was a soccer player. And my dad graduated and he became a middle school language arts teacher for 8th grade at Cottage Grove. And my mom worked at the YMCA for a little bit, and now she works at Regions Hospital in St. Paul.
Awesome. Let's hear about your brothers. I don't think you have any sisters, but let's hear about your
Nope.
brothers, who they are, their ages, and any sports that they play as well.
Yep. I have 3 younger brothers. Matthew, he's going to be a sophomore this year. Thomas, he's going to be a freshman. And Daniel, he's going to be a 7th grader. We all play the same sports, except instead of basketball, track, and football, Thomas plays track, swimming, and football.
Wonderful. I really like hearing about the schools that you attended here in Hastings. And we don't have to hear about every single teacher you had, but if there was a teacher at a certain grade level that had a really big impact on you, let's hear about those teachers. So once again, schools you attended here in Hastings and any teachers that had a really big impact on you at those grade levels.
Okay. For my elementary school, I attended McCullough Elementary School, and one of my favorite teachers from McCullough was Mrs. Erickson, and she just I didn't really like going to school that much, but her class was so fun that it made me want to go to school every day, and it was she made it a really fun and positive environment. And then I went to Hastings Middle School, and one teacher from Hastings Middle School that made a big impact on me was Mr. Molo. He was my 6th grade math and science teacher, and I had a lot of friends in that class, which also made it very fun. And Mr. Molo, he always cracked jokes and made sure we were having fun while also learning the material. So we got to do experiments and learn it in a fun way and do stuff with folding paper and stuff like that to learn dimensions of math and stuff. And he just made it super fun and enjoyable.
Awesome. So you're a junior right now at Hastings High School. Any teachers that stick out so far at the high school?
All of the teachers that teach Spark, you were there my freshman year, and then Corkish and Fikema, and then Cook and Strain help out a lot. They have all made a really positive impact on me and show me what it's like to focus while you're working out, and they emphasize hard work and getting stuff done in the weight room and doing it right. And that has just made a huge impact on me because that carries over into the classroom and getting all my homework done, making sure I do it right and getting it in on time.
Awesome. You talked about playing 3 sports. So you play football, basketball, and track. Did you always play those growing up, or when did you eventually get into all 3 sports? Was there other sports you played when you were growing up and eventually those kind of went away and you just focus on those 3? So what did that look like for you?
When I was really young, I used to play soccer when I was 6 or 7, but that didn't last very long. And then I transitioned to playing a lot of flag football, and I played in a couple of basketball tournaments at the YMCA, but I wasn't really big on basketball. And then when I got to be elementary school, middle school type, and I wrestled until 5th grade and played Little Raiders. in fifth and sixth grade. And then when I got to sixth grade, I started playing basketball because that's what all my friends played. And it was like, they were all like, oh, come play basketball. It's so much fun. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So ever since then, I played basketball and track. I always just did, even like if it was through the Y or through the school, I always did it because it was like a good way to like train in the off seasons. And football, I played my whole life.
Right on. You're only a junior right now, so you don't have a huge, maybe depth of high school experience so far playing sports. You do have a lot so far, but not a huge amount. If you want to briefly go through your high school experience, different levels you've played at so far at a JV or varsity level, if you want to talk about some of the seasons you've had, any highlights, anything along that nature that you want to talk about when it comes to your high school sports, so you can go for it.
In high school, so I'll start off with football. My freshman year for football, I played on the ninth grade team. And then my sophomore year, I played for B squad and I dressed varsity, but I did not play. And then this year, I got named captain just a little bit ago. So I'm the captain for the football team. And then for basketball, my freshman year, I played on JV and I saw some minutes for the varsity, but not many. But I played a lot of minutes on JV. And then my sophomore year for basketball, I was in the varsity rotation, saw a lot of minutes and had a lot of fun. And then this summer, I got named captain of the basketball team, and I'm looking forward to that upcoming season. And then for track, I was on JV my freshman year, and then my sophomore year, I took sixth in the conference, or it was section. I don't remember which one, but I took six at a meet. It was like important. And yeah, so I was on varsity my sophomore year for that.
Awesome. I know two things too I want to ask you about when it comes to football. Mr. Colvin talks about it all the time, where he was doing a play called Hang Loose, where you were able to call the plays. What was that like your freshman year, your freshman in high school, the quarterback of the football team? He really gave you guys that ownership to call the offense. What was that like for you?
I felt like I was in charge and I felt like he was like putting a lot of trust in me. So I was like super nervous and like felt like a lot of pressure was on me to call the right play. But in the end, it just helped me become a better leader because he was like putting some of the power in my hands and he was like, what you tell me what you see and I was like, what do you want to do?
For sure. So now, quarterback, junior year of the high school football team. Do you think that really prepared you, seeing the defenses, being able to read them a little bit more at that freshman level? And now, when you're in the varsity your junior year, you're able to recognize it a little bit more because you had that freedom your freshman year?
Yes, it definitely helped a lot. And I'm very thankful for that.
Sweet. The other thing, too, your sophomore year, you talked about dressing and being on the field as well. And I know you were able to shadow Coach Jason Cook. No, was that your ninth grade year or your 10th grade year? You were just kind of
Oh,
shadowing him and writing down the plays a lot.
yeah, that was my freshman year.
Okay. What was that like too? So you're on the varsity field, you get to be with the offensive coordinator for the football team, see what plays he's running, why he's running them. Do you think that helps you prepare for this level that you're at right now as well?
Yes, it definitely helped me a lot because I was like able to like understand some of like the terminology that we had. And I was like, I had like a head start coming into my like sophomore season and definitely my junior season because I was able to learn the playbook and like, understand some of the concepts. And it just helped. It slowed the game down for me a lot mentally.
Awesome. You just mentioned it. You're in your junior year. You just got named captain of the football team, quarterback of the football team as well. Let's just give a little preview of the football season coming up. What do you expect to happen? What are you hoping to happen? Maybe some goals for the season. Where do you see the season going for you and the rest of the team as well?
I think we'll win like a good amount of games. We have a season opener at Owatonna, and it's like their brand new stadium, and there's going to be a lot of people there. So I'm a little nervous for that, but it'll, we'll do good. And yeah, I'm just hoping that we have a good season, and I think we will. And yeah,
Perfect. We really like breaking into our guests here, especially athletes in high school like yourself, and seeing why they play sports. So one of the questions we always like to ask is why sports are important to you and why do you play? So once again, you're a three-sport athlete, Lucas, and sports play a big role in your life. why do you play so many sports and why is it so important to you?
I play so many sports because I like being around my friends at practice and I like the thrill of competition and being part of a team. I just don't think you can find that anywhere else. And it's just like one of the most fun things to me. And I just love it.
For sure. You got a couple years so far playing high school sports. Think about maybe you don't have one yet, but what do you think a favorite moment so far has been being a Raider athlete?
Ooh, favorite moments. Oh yeah, one of my favorite moments that I've had playing sports was definitely with my brother Matthew because we both had one of our like first career starts together when we played in a basketball game, and I just think it's really cool to be able to play with my brother, especially at the varsity level, and it's a really cool experience.
For sure. Another question that we always like to ask our guests like you is about success and how they define success. So, thinking about your experiences as a three sport athlete, how would you define success, especially when it comes to sports?
I would define success as having fun and always trying your hardest at everything you do, even if you're not like very good at it. Like you just, as long as you put 100% effort in it, then that was like a successful rep. Like if you go 100% in football on a play and you get tackled for a loss, it was still a successful rep because you tried as hard as you could on that particular rep.
For sure. Now, thinking about the people that you play with and are coached by, I always say this when I bring this question up to our guests, that it's probably an impossible question to answer. But thinking about maybe the best coach that you've ever played for, and this could be someone that you grew up being coached by. It could be a middle school coach, a high school coach. I've said a couple different times now, you're a multi-sport athlete, so you got a lot of coaches in your life. So if you want to pick a couple coaches, you're more than welcome to go for it, Lucas. So who do you think the best coach would be in your life?
I think the best coach in my life would probably be my dad. He coached me my fifth and sixth grade years during Little Raiders. And it was just a super cool experience to be coached by him because I could be coached by him on the field and at home. And like in the off season, he would always run me through like football drills and stuff like that. Me and my brothers would do that with him. And he just always pushes me to be better. And like if I'm like sitting around all day, he'll be like, get up, go do something, be productive. And it's just like a super cool experience to have my dad as a coach.
I love that. Now thinking about the guys that you're playing with on the field. So football field, on the basketball court, and in track as well. Who do you think one of the best teammates would be? And I've defined this in so many different ways, Lucas. So I won't bore you with the ways that I've defined the best teammate, but you could pick a couple different guys if you want. If you have one in mind, that'd be great too. So who do you think that best teammate would be in your life?
The best teammate in my life definitely has to be my brother Matthew because of how we push each other and like compete. Cause there's nothing worse to me than losing to him. So it always like pushes me to be better. And there's nothing like a brotherly rival. And it's just like we hold each other accountable. Like if one of us is sitting around, we're like, hey, come on, let's go run routes in the backyard, let's go get shots up. And if I'm sitting around, he'll do the same for me. And it's like after practice, we'll stay after, run routes and stuff like that, get extra shots up, and we just push each other to be the best we can be. And it's really fun.
That's awesome. I always like this next question because it changes per sport. And it's funny to see alumni who they saw as their biggest rival or biggest opponent and who we have in high school now as our biggest rivals and opponent. You're a multi-sport athlete once again, said it a couple different times now. If you want to pick more than one opponent or more than one rival as your number one, that's okay. But who do you think that would be for you? That opponent that you always like playing every single year. You mark it on your calendar, you circle it with red, you look forward to it. It really brings the best out in you. So who do you think that would be for you, Lucas?
My favorite opponent to play has to be St. Thomas because everyone knows that they're really good in every sport. And so, like, just knowing that you're about to go play a good team and if you can pull off the win, like, that's like one of the best feelings that you can have in a sport is pulling off an upset against a team that was supposed to beat you. And I just feel like when we like playing St. Thomas every year, it's just the level of competition goes up and you have to play harder and faster and smarter. And it's just a lot of fun.
For sure. You talked about being in Spark as well. So obviously working out is very important to you. Waking up early, getting your lift in, getting your workout in early in the morning is extremely important to you. What about anything else with your improvement process? You talked about team hoops with your brother in the backyard, and getting some passes from him as well. Anything else that goes into your improvement process, especially when it comes to sports?
Like you said, Spark is a huge part of my improvement process. I've been in that since my freshman year, and I've made like substantial gains through that. And then in the summer, it's Raiders Express. And before I could go to Raiders Express, before I was old enough, it was workouts in the backyard with my dad and my brothers. And then it's just off season, like weight training, and then getting in the lab with some of your teammates and just working to get better as a team.
For sure. Last couple questions then for you, Lucas. We always try to end up with advice for parents, coaches, and other student athletes. So the first group that we always look at is parents and coaches. You're a three-sport athlete. You've been playing sports most of your life, being coached by your dad. So you got a coach in the house with you every single day. If you had to give advice for parents or coaches based on your experience, what do you think would be?
It was like, I think that parents should be like present and like they should be into all of like the fundraisers and activities that are set by our programs. And our parents and coaches do like a very good job of this already. And I'm just like saying that I like that they do this. And because the fundraisers provide like fun opportunities for us, like they let us have like better huddle packages or like better equipment. And it just makes it an overall better experience for all the athletes and like all the parents and coaches.
Great. The last group then is student athletes like yourself. So these are going to be the little kids coming to watch you at the football game. These could be the freshmen that's in high school looking up to you as the varsity quarterback. If you had to give those kids just a couple pieces of advice from your experiences, what do you think would be?
When you hear the word student athlete, the student comes before athlete. You have to get it done in the classroom so you can get it done in the field. You have to prioritize school and then think about sports. And sports are super important, but so is school. So you have to get it done in the classroom because I know all of our coaches do a really good job of like enforcing to get like to pay attention in the classroom, no like monkeying around, get like put your head down, get it done. And yeah, just get it done in school so you can get it done on the playing field.
Love it. Lucas, that's all the questions I got for you tonight. Last thing we always do is just turn the microphone over to our guest. So anything else you want to get off your chest, any questions I didn't ask you that you want to talk about, any shout outs you want to give, like I said, the microphone is yours and you can go for it.
I just want to say thank you for having me here. And it was a really fun experience to be on this.
No problem. Thanks, Lucas.